Welcome to Ascending with the Arcturians with your host, Viviane Chauvet. Viviane is an Arcturian hybrid, intergalactic healer, and universal communicator. Join us as we explore an era of quantum consciousness and vibrational shift. Human beings are essence of supreme light, expressed as sentient physical life forms. Our unique soul design contains our blueprint that leads us to light body ascension. We are here to help you evolve beyond this third physical dimension, transcend the past, heal soul wounds, integrate life lessons, and embrace the divine matrix. More than a show, it is an experience that invites you to awaken to the truth of your higher self. Are you ready to return to universal oneness? Ascending with the Arcturians begins now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ascending with the Arcturians with me, your host, Viviane Chauvet. We are thrilled to welcome you for another amazing episode here on Transformation Talk Radio. Today, we've chosen a topic that is much more spiritual, that will nourish your soul, that will nourish your heart. Today, we have chosen to present the 12 Celestine Insights. I don't know if many of you remember the books by James Redfield and the Celestine Prophecies. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We have extracted the 12 insights and how they can apply today. I feel like there's a little jewel of information hidden there that has been potentially forgotten over time. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk also little techniques between the different insights. How does it apply to you? How can you still apply these wisdoms and the spiritual connections, understanding, maybe even upgrading your perspective on the planetary changes, your inner internal changes, your spiritual growth, and also relate to others with more ease and divine grace. We always do techniques. We always help you to ground, to cleanse, and bring higher alignment. And at the end of the show, we're going to talk about two fantastic upcoming conferences, and we're going to show you the information. We're going to share with you about them so you can join us and you know get the calling of gathering together. It's going to be a summer of gathering, a summer of light. So stay with us the entire hour as we're going to dive right now with the first aspect of the 12 Celestine Insights. Now, when I first came across the James Redfield's books about these Celestine prophecies, apparently discovered in a jungle, I believe it was Peru, very old manuscript. What really spoke to me is how much these insights are really spiritually aligned with what we are going through and what we have been going through. So we feel like we've been bombarded with so much information about disclosure, ET, starseed, DNA evolution. We talked about the Schumann resonance in the previous episode. We want to bring something more lighter, to bring lightness of being, bring other form of wisdom to guide you, to help you navigate through these changes. So we felt that today those insights would be perfect for bringing everything together with more synergy and ease. So the first insight talks about noticing synchronicity. Well, that's a big one. We know that synchronicity is an entry point into this reality. Have you noticed the more that you are in sync in the flow of synchronicities, things start to really manifest around you, even though we seems to be in the midst of chaotic changes. We're moving from disharmonic energy to a higher divine way of being and living. So to bring your consciousness back to the flow of what may seemingly unrelated events unfolding within a tapestry of synchronicity. That is also inviting you to truly listening to your inner voice of intuition, your inner nudges, listening to what has been telling you. Open up your perspective, your divine insight to a much bigger picture. And that really ties up so well with the dismantling, the restructuring of a very old matrix reality that we call the 3D as we move into the bridging to the fourth dimension and aiming for the fifth dimension. So as we clean and cleanse our inner filters, we retrieve a higher clarity and our perspective become clear, sharp, on point, and very intuitive. So the first insight is really telling us that there is no need to look from the mind as opposed to more looking with the soul and from the soul. Uh, life is coming. Life is coming already before us, unfolding, waiting to open up to a new world. How appropriate this is to look closely to find the eyes to see, to listen to the synchronicity, to listen to intuition. Eyes, which also synchronize with your third eye. And I know that many of our clients have reported issue with their eyes to feel like more blurry, feel like that their now the eyes seems to have some visual issues. But to think about that is that your physical senses are also attuning to be able to perceive and attune themselves to extrasensory, more dimensional perspective, perception. So we know that the third dimension will become a little bit blurry sometimes at times. That's because you're reattuning yourself. Close your eyes, readjust with your physical eyes, breathe into your vision. I clear now my eyes. I see clearer than ever, and I can see beyond illusions. And when you open your eyes, you will see it's like brightness. It's almost like the colors become more vibrant, like a veil being lifted off. Does that make sense? Yes, of course. So the first insight on synchronicity, we're discovering again that we live in a deeply, deeply interconnected a reality full of coincidence, synchronistic encounters that seems to be very predestined, synchronized. And this is very much so, especially when you are living in harmony with your own soul synchronicity, your own soul the timing, the timing of your soul. What is fantastic. The second insight speak about the world as a spiritual design. The world is changing. No way. Absolutely. The world is changing. Yeah, tell us about more about it. Spiritual design that really ties up also with your own soul design. We know that we are in this world navigating through these fields by design as opposed by coincidence, chances, or some people feel like they've been dropped off on this rock. This step in consciousness to realize, embracing, and accepting that you're here by soul design allows you to navigate through this world through a spiritual design that we look back on, looking back on your own spiritual journey. The moment you were born or you incarnated, you've always been already from day one on your spiritual journey. And if you look at even to the journey of others, your family members, your ancestors, and the earth history, you know that we are on a very divine spiritual design to our journey. So when you pay attention, the changes that are occurring right now in the collective consciousness speak of the awakening of those of we call the light workers, the star seeds, those who've come to the paradigm shifter to anchoring more living conscious light in this reality to bring back very specific blueprint, directions, and so forth. So we accept the teaching of this second insights that really allows you to welcome changes from a spiritual perspective of a higher design. And that really is something important. So let's do a few quick exercise about that one to allow to release any filters, ground you in your energy. So if you would please go ahead and close your eyes. Thank you. And when you close your eyes, we invite you just to relax your mind. Just take a few deep breaths. Let go of any focus. Let go of any thoughts. Just be present into your breath. This is what we call breathing consciously. Beautiful. Keep going, keep it flowing. Then softly attune your energy to the collective consciousness. Feel all life forms evolving on this planet, including the Earth herself. And allow your higher mind, your soul essence to travel through the collective consciousness of the planet. Expand your perspective. Feel that spiritual design that connects us all. Experience the changes happening, including your own transformational change. Allow yourself to also understand the bigger spiritual design behind all of this, all the changes, the expansion. Beautiful. Ask your higher self to protect you, to be part of this journey. Deep breath. Beautiful. And now consciously, in full consciousness, bring your presence back into your body, fully aligned, refreshed, balanced, and filled with more joy and hope. Take a deep breath to your heart. Release. Beautiful. And now open your eyes. Welcome back. You feel that just that short exercise to dive into that, what we call spiritual design. It's really remarkable. So think always, you can always go back to that space. You're always welcome to go back to that space. Beautiful. Now, the third insight, very interesting. It's giving us the karmic design, which is very different from the spiritual design. So we integrate what they call the third insight when we start to realize that the universe itself is an conscious, energetically connected environment that is spiritual constructed and bring also forth our greatest dream into realization. We know that the sacred matrix, the quantum field, it's also the field to which we co-create and co-manifest. And all we have to do really is to align ourselves, allowing our lives to go with the universal ruling principle that the more you give, you also receiving. And that part of that insight also bring that giving aspect. Oftentimes people says, well, I am already generous of myself. I give too much. This third design or the third insight to the karmic design, you will see and later on there is an insight that bring the counterbalance on the receiving end. So giving is allowing yourself to redirect what is giving is about, knowing that as you give, you shall receive. You know that you are consciously connected to the sacred quantum space. And this quantum space or the quantum field to which we are evolving always brings back everything we give out of our heart, our soul, out of generosity, without compromising your integrity, of course. So I feel that's interesting that part of the Celestine Insights, there's one specifically around giving and the karmic design. So just to feel this universal grid, the matrix of life, and you know that everything is reflected back to you. So you can breathe and be reassured into what you give. It gives to your heart without expectations. And that's what this insight is about. Now, the fourth one, it's a very interesting one, especially at what we are seeing unfolding and what we have seen unfolding for generations. It's called the human control drama. I feel like it's very interesting, that one, the human control drama. So, according to this insight, it says that when we seek the ethic or the design of giving, and without having a thought of taking from someone in a, for example, manipulation, want to get something from someone, or energetically, what happened is that we begin to detect that our egos past manipulation devices, which is called a control drama. We use it to build ourselves up at another's expenses. So if we are mindful and catch ourselves every time we begin our control drama to the lower mind, then we're able to be conscious about it and start to move away from it. So that's why it's called the power struggle, taking others people's energy. This is all about that. It's about people sometimes build them themselves by taking people's energy instead of going inside and find the inner source within you. So that is a really powerful one, especially for those who feel insecure or very ingrained into the 3D narratives, is to reconnect to the ultimate source of all of energy, which is supreme source, instead of taking people's energy, whether it's conscious or unconscious. So this is a really beautiful, responsible, consciously responsible insight, releasing domination on each other and on the sake of energy. Your sacred life force is very precious. Use the divine source to give and to engage into an harmonization of give and take. It's an exchange instead of a taking. So I feel that this is really that one really speaks to me because we see that all the time at work, co-workers, even in a store, like power struggle for energy. Who get there first? Who get the first parking? Who get? It's just releasing all of this. We will take a short break here on Ascending with the Arcturians. When we come back, we have more insight and wisdom to share with you. And so stay with us. We will be right back. See you after the break. And we're back on Ascending with the Arcturians. And right before the break, we were exploring already the first four insights of the Celestine prophecies. And it's incredible, even with the exercise we did, how much you can also already release old energies. And the fourth one we were just exploring a moment ago about human control drama and the struggle that is responsible for so much human conflict, even in family. It's all about taking energies and domination over others. The moment you let that go, you are inviting a whole different level of interactions and communication to take place. So that was what we were talking about right before the break. Moving forward, with the fifth inside, the spiritual connection, we break through to experience a moment that seems to move us past our normal level of consciousness. When we have those moments in consciousness, we sense that there's an ultimate connection, whether we meet a soulmate, whether we meet a member of our soul group, maybe revelation about your star lineage. When we get those aha moment, even though it's through a spiritual practice, meditation, a breathing exercise, what you do is that you're opening up yourself to bring and cultivate a personal reconnection to and with the divine. And this is what we're doing. We are reconnecting ourselves on a much more conscious level. A mystical transformation start to feel us. We feel ultimately filled with more love, energy, empowerment, confidence. We can feel also our ability to channel energy to heal ourselves and others increases tremendously. So we invite you to really feel with your hands, to feel the connections to the chakra of your hands opening a natural, a greater flow of energy that comes from divine source. You can even utilize the energy to cleanse your own auric field if you have headaches, eyes, attuning your immune system, digestive system, just to increase peace and alignment. That would be something that we would recommend. Now, the sixth insight talks about we're sensing that we're on a life mission, and that is the case. Every time that you are experiencing moments of profound spiritual connections, which connect to the fifth insight, we open up ourselves to the sixth one. We begin to realize and receive more clearly a sense of synchronicity. Where this is taking us? We're starting to put the dots together, a life direction. And if you look at your life path so far, from everything you've learned, even as a child, young adult, moving up to where you are now, from wherever you are on the planet, you can start to see this is forming a very specific map. That map speaks of your life mission, your soul purpose. And all you to do is open up to it and surrender. I accept my life mission. Everything makes sense. I allow everything to come together. So this is a profound aspect of awareness where it allows you to release old, really old patterns of controlling to the lower mind, the mental mind, and discovering a greater truth that is right encoded at the soul level. That you're here. You're here to help others. You're here as a service to the light. And that creates a whole different reality. So let's do a very quick exercise on that one. It's very important. So making sure you're comfortably sitting down or lying down, eyes closed. Let's take a deep breath and feel the breath. It's easy now to breathe deeper and slower. It followed the rhythm from the first exercise we did. Just keep breathing. I'll just listen to this affirmation. I release now all patterns of control from every cell of my body, from my mind, my heart, my subconscious mind. I welcome a deeper sense of directions, wholeness, clarity, and higher perspective now. I release all that no longer serves joyfully. Deep breath, let it go, let it flow. Feel how wonderful it feels to really allowing everything to purge and cleanse and purify all of your cells, your organs, your body, your energy field, your heart, and your mind. Just breathe. A complete, powerful reset, fully aligned in consciousness. Beautiful. You're welcome to open your eyes now. Welcome back. It's short reset that we do, not to bring also the energy of the insides as we go through them. Allows you to be present to them. So you can say that I release now. Because by saying I release now, what you're doing is that you're telling the universe, the quantum field, if you want, that I am ready to embrace those steps. Now guide me. And the now, it really is the equivalent of it's happening, it's unfolding, it's already a new reality. That's really powerful to also remember. It's important also to know how you formulate your affirmation, what mantra you're utilizing. The verbiage will lead the way of your intentions combined with your energy and your emotions. So that form of alignment that I release now or I accept now brings you that sense of balance and complete alignment within yourself and beyond. I can feel the energy running, flowing and running through me. I feel like I'm going to float on my chair right now. I love it. All right, everyone, let's move to the seventh insight, to following your intuition. And that's a big one. So sometimes we wonder, what's my life mission? What do I need to do next, as opposed to what should I do? And that's also imply a subconscious pattern there. What do I need to do? What are my next steps? This is where this insight kicks in to follow your intuition. So if we follow the insights, the glimpses, and the vision given, you know that what you're doing is that you're weaving a network of memories. You have access to even past timelines that we call your past lives. To ask to extract only the tools, the wisdom, and the knowledge that you need to support you fully in this lifetime. So, when you keep your life purpose or your life mission in mind as your life move forward, you start to notice more and more that the synchronicity that we talked about earlier are ultimately calling and they're like road maps along the way. They're validation, confirmation, point of guidance, reverence. It's all in the buildup of consciousness, bringing more light, allowing ourselves to be present to the intuition guidance that we are receiving at a higher level, as opposed to be distracted by the lower mind. This is why it's called practice and mindfulness and also discipleship. Sometimes to be distracted can happen. Just ground yourself back. As I follow my intuition, I am grounded into my light. So they will be also allowing the release of old energy of blame. This is something that the third dimensional matrix reality has, programmed us to believe. We point the finger first, and you notice I put the finger away from the camera because I point to no one at the fingers, including myself. We are very quick at pointing of fingers at something, at someone, and then what happens is it lowers your energy, it lowers your frequency, and it will also put filters on your senses, your intuition, your guidance. And it almost feel like it disconnects you. So listening to a greater guidance that comes from your heart, that comes also from your higher self, and making mistakes, it's part of the learning curves. It's also what you do with them moving forward that is important, as rather than constantly blaming yourself for a mistake. And when you recognize the wisdom of what have been done, it also keeps you in a greater flow, the flow of your life. So always keep that in mind, that in the pursuit of your divine mission, your divine purpose, we also discover more and more that our inner intuition shows up where we need to be, where we need to do, where do we need to go next. And by making positive interpretation of this inner guidance, signs, validations, little synchronicity coming our way, you constantly stay in a greater flow. And the coincidences, the synchronicities keep flowing more and more and more and open no door. It's like unraveling dimensional aspect of a lotus flower. You discover more to it. So I can tell you this is exactly how I prepare my show, whether it's the radio show or the podcast. I always go by intuition. I connect with my interstellar team, my Arcturian, and other groups we work with. And I said, at this point of time, what served the best? What show me what needs to come forth? And that's how I do it. And I can tell you, it creates absolutely magical point. So to visualize yourself in that moment, in that greater flow, allowing the flow of synchronicity, recognizing the language of the universe speaking through you, whether it's to your body, an inspiration, a new ideas, and so forth, you know that you are perfectly in alignment. And it makes life a lot easier, is it not? Of course. Remember to breathe. Beautiful. And one thing that my team reminded me is that sometimes we feel like we wander off the path. Now, trust that you are always walking on your path, and the universe always takes you from wherever you are at that moment. Mm. Whether you're still working a 9 to 5 job, whether you are still feeling stuck at some level, whether you feel you have a great advanced greatly spiritually, and from everywhere you are at that moment, life, your life, the synchronicity of the flow of the divine takes you from where you are moving forward. So the eighth insight teaches us giving energy increases our synchronistic experiences. So, what does it mean? Mm. It means to simply pay attention to the way things look, even though we may not have all the knowledge or the understanding of the sight of knowing where this is going. So once we clearly see the process of synchronicity as we just did, what we observe most of the time is that people provide many of our synchronistic experiences. Whether it's something you heard in a store, at work, a friend calling you, texting you, inviting you to do something that has been on your mind for a long time. That is what's called speaking the synchronistic experiences language. You're right in that feel, in that flow. This is, I think, it's extraordinary. And sometimes it may take you out of comfort zone. And sometimes it feel like it's taking you, beyond your comfort zone. It's simply allowing you to move with greater evolutionary flow, always giving energy to the higher self for everyone we meet. We are building a greater community right now from that divine design coming through. This is why the old ways, are holding on right now. This is why we're pushing through what seemingly polarization, chaotic energy field. That's because there's a greater expression that is also coming to the surface, so to speak. The transparency of that divine design is getting more and more obvious for you, for me, for everyone and every life form on this planet. So when you give energy to your body, to your mind, to your heart, your spirit, to others, to the earth, you also receiving greatly. It's that flow of giving and receiving, that flow that ties up to the other insights. We are in that sense of synchronistic flow. Take a deep breath, release. So instead of taking energy from others, we give energy no matter what. And what we're giving, you receive it back in spade and even above and beyond. Yes, absolutely. Wow, great reminders, very powerful ones. Alrighty, everyone, stay with us. We're going to take a very short break here. Now we're going to come back. We're going to finish the last insights, more wisdom, more knowledge to share with you. And the announcements are two amazing conferences coming up. It's the calling of the family of light. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And we're back on Ascending with the Arcturians with Viviane Chauvet. Right before the break, we're talking about more insight based on the James Redfield book, The Celestine Prophecies. They are so insightful. That's really, they bear their names from it. We're talking about the eighth one, which is giving energy. Giving energy increases our synchronistic experiences. So just to wrap up on this really important insight is as light workers, as conscious human being, we know that we are moving into a more galactic, cosmic human design. We know that we're always giving energy. What we do is that the more we give energy, the more we receive. So we were mentioning before the break that instead of taking energy from others, I know you don't do that. But you notice that sometimes when people are around us and then they all over or feel like you are just enter into my personal space. And that's a form of unconscious intimidation, taking energy from others, power struggle. That ties up with the fourth inside, the human control drama. So giving up that these kind of habits can be ingrained, can be subconscious, it can be cultural as well. So the more we bring consciousness, the more we realize that we're here to share energy. It's a flow as opposed of take, and deplete others. So giving energy is a process, it's a flow, and your energy is moving through the other person with more ease, with wholeness, oneness, without any form of competition. Well, that's a big ingrained program that has been implemented into the human consciousness. Competition is healthy. I Let's agree to disagree on that one. Giving is the secret to keeping us connected. And again, it's a fine balance. We understand that we need to create also healthy boundaries. It's not about giving your own life force energy, it's allowing a greater flow of divine energy moving through you. And you redirect that energy to others, life force. You can be a field, trees, animals to refresh and also clear waters and so forth. You see the difference here? Never through your own life force. It's always through the greater flow of divine source, divine light flowing through you. So in that sense, this is where you're becoming in that engaged flow of energy with all there is. That's the core of the eight insight. And we wanted to make sure this one was well understood. Deep breath, release, yes. The ninth insight speaks of fulfilling human destiny. Yes, the guidance within us evolves as the world is evolving, and we are returning to living life in a pristine divine way. Now, we understand as of right now, in the field of 2021, that return may feel a little bit challenging because of what we are seeing, what we are hearing, everything that we are receiving from the 3D narratives. However, when you know this, that guidance really comes from your soul, and you're here to fulfill also your soul and human destiny. To know this is to know your destiny already, because we can now see how everyone, and to see if everyone practiced this virtue of I'm here to uplift myself and others equally in an exchange of energy, when we would quickly accelerate the spiritual transformation of this world, don't you think? Yeah, it really release a lot of conflict, release power struggle, release the battle of the mind. No, I disengage from this. I get back into my light. I allow myself this greater flow of divine energy flowing through me. So it works this way. When someone uplifts us, when we feel it as an increased energy because we receive a greater experience with the divine and the divine mind from which we come. So at that point, when we return this energy to the person or that group that uplift us, it moves our energy back into them, and we're both and everyone is being uplifted. Is that to bring the energy is returned back to you in that constant flow. That way, we disengage any form of lower frequencies, competition, who's better, who's higher. You simply release that, you neutralize those lower frequencies. So you participate also in that spiritual evolution, the journey of evolution to energize our body, generation by generations, walking together in this organic timeline of ascension. Oh, absolutely to that. The tenth ascension. I'm already there. Are you there too? Yes. The 10th insight is called Life in Heaven, Guiding Us on Earth. Now, at this level of expanded consciousness, we become clearly aware of the life, clearly aware that that life and that cycle of humanity, this is exactly where we are clearing ourselves from, and the incarnation wheels. This cycle of the soul coming back again and again and relearning and go back next time and clearing karmic ties. This is where we are freeing ourselves from. Now we know that we are first and foremost divine essence, divine energy of expression in a human form. We are building and returning to living in a pristine divine state. So it really allows veils between this dimension and the solar realms of light to be lifted up. We dissipate veils, including veils or filters within yourself. Mm. It allows you to know that you are an eternal spark of life, of light, and you are part of the singularity mind of Prime Creator, all there is. So it gets you in touch also with your holographic and multidimensional nature that you are. You know that we are consciously co creating constantly the new directive, the new directions of this earth, the return of the earth, Mother Gaia, in her pristine heaven garden, Eden type, beautiful garden of splendors for everyone. So, we're going to do a very quick visualization. We're going to visualize something powerful to help to establish consciously that connection. So if you would, please go ahead, close your eyes just for a moment. Perfect. Deep breath. We invite you to breathe to the gateway of your heart. So see and feel that you are redirecting your breath to your heart. Bring in more divine light, supreme light into your being, into your body, clearing up all of your chakra network, clearing your thoughts, opening the mental mind, the mental realm, attuning the emotional body, allowing your physical form to become more and more clear conduit for higher frequencies. And feel that you are expanding more and more infinitely, just like the universe itself. You are infinity in physical embodiment. Beautiful. And now imagine a rainbow bridge, beautiful rainbow bridge with all the seven spectrum of the light, a beautiful crystalline rainbow bridge, connecting all dimensions and plane of existence together, connecting all there is within you. And as you are a part of all there is, your internal gateways, your meridian points, your acupuncture points are completely attuned and connected to the Rainbow Bridge, also known as the Bridge of Ascension, bridging higher consciousness. To feel those connections to all there is, all dimensions and plane of existence combined, and ultimately lead. Everything is leading back to Supreme Source. We're going home to our divine identity, our divine self. We're going back to Supreme Source, Prime Creator. And let's take a big a sigh of release. It feels wonderful to come back home, home to who you are, home to all there is. I feel like it's been thousands of years, and yet it was yesterday. It is now a reality, right here, right now, moving forward. Allow a big reset breath with a big sigh. Oh, beautiful. Welcome to open your eyes back to your space. Isn't that one wonderful? This is where we become much more conscious co-creator. Welcome back. All right, moving forward to the 11 inside. This is to call the power of prayer. It's a form of language. Prayer has a big connotation in this reality. It has no religion. It has no boundaries. It knows no boundaries. The power of communication through prayers. This is a very high level of consciousness that many of you already practice. We become more purpose driven and receptive to how to how we are evolving and how we are affecting one another, we realize that the prayer or the thought, the conscious thought forms that we are sending out works from within that universal design. We become more in alignment with the principle of giving energy from divine source, understanding our own life force energy, and we also understanding more our inner intuitions, your guidance, more accurately. It helps you, it helps others, your friends, your loved ones, someone becoming your way unexpectedly, even in a parking lot. I need help. Do you have guidance for me? Yes, of course I do. Because at that moment, even with a stranger, you are implementing the power of your thoughts and the exchange of light that we talked about, that conscious interconnectedness, allowing spirit guides, your beings of light, to come to you to guide you as you become a spirit guide for someone. Beautiful. The last one, the 12 insights, is called the hour of decision. We are now much more rooted in confidence in our light, divine confidence. We begin to really embracing the self-knowledge, self-love, self-acceptance, knowing to understand that you know more that your lower mind has led you to believe. We experience time of greater connections, even to your star lineage, your ancestors, your higher self, your supreme self. Now, all there is, it's a complete consciousness based on love, patience, openness, empowerment. It's the presence to be in a sense of empowerment. We know that we're beyond control, we're beyond all of this, and we come together as a cohesive family of light, allowing all all the 12 insights, all the virtues, all the knowledge, combining the power of our hearts and light to transcend the three-dimensional matrix reality or any form of illusionary patterns. We are in our divine presence always. So that is really remarkable. I hope that serves you well today, because right now I would like to share with you two amazing conferences coming up. We talked about it, we want to talk about it more. The first one, it's in Sedona, Arizona, right into the planetary vortex of the great feminine. It's called Phoenix Rising 5D Conference. My husband Peter and I will be there as speakers. Come see us, come connect with our Arcturian team. The Phoenix Rising is really about bringing collective consciousness, co-creating a brand new reality, a new paradigm, the change in the timeline to a more positive one. Phoenix represent the renewal as we're rising into a new format, into our chalice of light. So this is, you're going to see the poster already. You're going to see the link, register. It's in Sedona, July 23rd to the 25th. So make sure you are coming and connecting with us for the Phoenix Rising in Sedona in July. Now, the second conferences, and we're also going to be there and have the joy of speaking at this conference. It's in Mount Shasta. It's called the Hierarchy of Light and the Great Gathering of the Light. The hierarchy is really to bring the higher realms of light, combining with so many light workers who have felt the call to return to Manchester. It is also aligning with the planetary vortex for the divine masculine energy. And this one is going to be August 26th to the 29th. You're seeing the poster right now. You have the links on the show. Register, join us, bring your light, bring your wisdom. The gathering will be fantastic. So we're in Sedona in July, Mount Shasta in August. And what we do is that we are rebuilding, strengthening, and healing the grids. So come contribute your light, receive activation, connect with your like-minded people, your star brothers and sisters. We can wait to see you there on both July and August. Deep breath, everyone. It's been an incredible show. I felt we were in a time warp. I haven't seen a time go by. They always go very come because we are in universal time, right? So we want to thank you for staying with us the entire hour. We invite you to listen again to the recording because you may get a little piece of nuggets of wisdom, energy, release, activation. Join us at the conferences, and most importantly, we will see you next time right here on Ascending with the Arcturians on Transformation Talk Radio. See you soon.
Thank you for listening to Ascending with the Arcturians with your host, Viviane Chauvet. It has been our pleasure being your host and interstellar guide. We invite you to embrace your uniqueness and authentic self. For more information on our healing services and to connect with Viviane, please visit our website, infinitehealingfromthestars.com. That's infinitehealingfromthestars.com. See you next time.